Okay, should be good. I'm gonna grab this, move this, so I can put my phone down. Shut the fuck up. There we go. So I can stand back a little bit. I can still see my phone just well enough. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking at. Neighbor. Cool. You know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna grab a torch. So, beautiful torch. Move. Good damn. Cool. So, whisk. Are you wanting in? Are you wanting in, bud? You're okay. You can choose to go in, bud. You can. You want to. Okay. I just got the torch. It's torch. I promise. Just want to make it easier. It's a little windy out. So much easier. But what? Yeah. What I was saying is, uh, my, but me being able to understand and knowing to how to break down each understanding is if you still don't understand, I'll break it down even more and make it even dumber. No offense, but that's what it essentially is you can't meet the level of the 5 to 10% of the people that can understand that level. I'm able to. I'm one of those 5 to 10% to a degree. I'm more close to the 4 6% that can understand a smidge. I don't have all the knowledge in the world, and I don't plan to. I don't plan to know just by looking down how far is that by the look of the eye. Like I don't really want to. I don't need to learn how to be a carpenter if I don't plan to do it. I just need to understand how the basic understandings of things, and that's really what we all need to learn is the basic understanding of life. And I know I'm talking about life as like a atheist would be, or a scientist would say it as an atheist could be. But not saying all scientists are atheists. I'm saying that they typically don't necessarily believe in Christianity. They don't normally believe in that there is a higher being that gave us life. I personally don't believe that. I know for a fact that we're all made of stardust, but like we're all made of carbon. If carbon isn't a thing, like if you look at this this carbon, if you really think about this can be broken down and give you carbon. The only thing that doesn't give you carbon is air, water. There's no carbon. To make this, you have to make millions, or you have to mix things with this to make this item. That entirely just one element. There is carbon in most of everything in life. That in life there is carbon. We are made of carbon. Rocks are made of carbon. Wood is made of carbon. Grass are made of carbon. Animals are made of carbon. Um, your neighbor's made of carbon. Your mom is made of carbon. Sorry, I had to make a your mom joke. Sorry, I had to do that. But what I'm saying is, being able to truly understand something like that is you have to really dig deep in science that no one really likes to go. That's what pushes scientists to be what they are, is to be able to understand the further things that like this person could not know. Like whiskey. Like whiskey. That's sitting down here, chilling right next to me. He doesn't know everything. The man's old, but doesn't know everything. I don't know my roommate as good as much as he does. Whiskey is 7. That means 7 years of his life has been with whiskey. Or sorry, whiskey for 7 years had been in part of my roommate's life for the whole part of his life. Never once lived away from him. Never. Whiskey is always been there. Guess what? Whiskey knows Colton more than I know my buddy. And he's my best friend. I call him my best friend. Hell, I call him my brother half the time. I love that man to death. But I love that man because he is my brother. If he's family to me, I truly understand him. But I don't know as much as that guy down there. And I don't plan to. That man knows his weaknesses, his strengths, his ups and his downs. I know a bunch of his ups. I know a bunch of his downs. I don't know every single one of them. And I don't plan to know every single one of them because sometimes it really gets personal. And that's the difference between you and I is I understand because that's someone's life, that's person. I understand life and how the brain understands and reflects memories and how it treats everyone emotionally and physically. Uh, hell, there's people who lost arms or legs, or hell, they lost like a certain part of them, like an ear. If you think about it, you ask them about their memory. Be like, do you remember how how it was? Like all the memories that you did with this or with a loved one. A loved one is deeper. It brings them out. It brings out their low. It shows that, but you also got to remember once they're low, they have to build back up, which typically always happens that same day. If it doesn't always happen that same day, it happens that very next moment, and which is always the next day. But and I say again, time is not relevant. And the funny thing is, if you really think about it, life, you think of it as a wealth way. Time is money. And with that, you spend more time working, not thinking, not doing the things that you have to do as you actually have to do it. You can honestly buy or pay people. You can buy your time back, which is essentially paying someone to do the little things, the small things that honestly just get done fast. You have to remember that you don't have to do it every single time. You pay, you can, that's what makes the rich rich, is they buy back their time. And that's the thing about us. We don't buy back time. You can't unless you own a business. Owning a business is different. It's involves science, which is called business science. Yeah, business science. In other words, it's just called business. But which is what I plan on doing. I plan on running a business. Hell, I've talked about it a bunch of times on this channel and on YouTube. I will announce that I do plan on running a business. It will be partly my merch, which will include this. But whenever I do start a business, it will involve both this and my YouTube, my my Twitch, my YouTube, and my business. They all will be involved together because I personally want to do that. That is a choice that I make. It's never something that I will never keep away from people. So, if anything, please be on the lookout. I certainly would love to. Uh, I hope my neighbors don't think I'm fucking insane. Oh my, but yeah, it's just that being able to understand. Oh, sorry. Uh, which if you guys don't know, please hit me. Please subscribe to me on YouTube if you are watching on Twitch. It does help me out on getting myself started over there too. I do plan on making videos. I just need to have a better system, a better console, or not console, better PC to be able to run and have more footage so I can record footage for 4 hours and break that down into 30 to 40 minute video. Um, but if I do look around, it's just mostly because I have neighbors and they don't know I do this. Actually, I think they do, and I know my roommate, not my roommate, my neighbor who goes to D&D with us every Saturday with me and my roommate. Mostly because it comes over for D&D. Um, I do plan on making D&D a official thing that is on my channel. I more or less just need to have a house that is of mine, so I can have a room, so I can kind of get things away. I would have it. I will tell my roommate to, if we ever do choose to do it at my house, that it is a choice to be recorded. If they want to do recording, they are more than welcome to tell me no on showing their face in camera. They can tell me no, and it has to be a full agreement, or sorry, not a full agreement. It has to be a majority vote to have it recorded, uh, or at least published. Because I will do recordings of D&D. We technically don't ever really take a break. We just kind of go to the bathroom when we feel like it because we're not always doing something that involves half the group. And sometimes it's just two people, sometimes it's three, sometimes it's four, sometimes it's just a one person. And then at majority of the time, it is with all of us because it does involve us, like a fight, or we're going into the city, or we're out in the city, and something that my roommate did want us to do, one of us, or two of us, three of us, or four of us, or all of us, you can talk about it or get the story out more. Of course, I normally take the opposite route. I always try to just go venture off. I'm the wizard, so I want to learn. It's why I like learning is a wizard is a good point of a scholar. Well, it is a scholar. A wizard is a scholar. Always will be a scholar. They're never not a scholar. They always went to school because they have to learn how to use magic and be able to understand how to project that magic to be able to do certain things. I wish I would never catch my shirt on this because you're not ripping a hole in my fucking shirt. I like this shirt too much. It feels nice. I may understand. Hey, what's up? Not bad. Hey. I'm just talking about understanding life and being able to, and just understanding the science. So, what I've been talking about, I generally talk really fast, and that I'm using an earbud. I have this. I did not know that. Let me. Oh, it should be. How do I fix that? I don't know how to fix that. I'll have to look at it later. I barely ever really mess with mobile. But I'm trying to figure this out. Um, I don't know. Yes, I am. Oh, my back. Whew. Uh, well, it's good that I'm. Well, yes, but I want to try to figure this out. Let's see. It's weird. I don't know why I can't figure this out. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know why it's not auto rotating. I have it off. I wish I understand this, but we'll have to tolerate it for today. I'll work on more of it tomorrow or today. Uh, Honestly, doing it on mobile is not the easiest thing. Doing it on a computer is easy. I understand the computer is so much more, but let me grab the bong. But what I was saying earlier is I do generally talk about I'm gonna try doing Sundays. Today, is an exception. Sundays will be days that I just don't play. I'll just stream and talk about science in any form. I know up to some about some of theoretical science. a bunch about anatomy, quite a bit about biology, and uh, honestly, I know a lot about science in general. So if you do ever want to catch me on Sunday streaming, I'll be talking about science. Please have pen and paper ready. I'm gonna be teaching. It's funny. An actual person who studies science, they rarely ever smoke, and if they do smoke, they always get in trouble or can't get in trouble. Not always. Um, it's funny because for me, I don't have to have a science degree to talk about science. I don't really ever need that. I can just prove it by either real examples of how this would work versus how this works, how the understanding of the body. Of course, I will have proof with having have actual scientific evidence to back up what I say, so I make sure I don't ever say something wrong and then get called out for it and told that I don't know science. Now, like me, this is applied science. I know how to do this by applying understanding of science and how things work. And so I can bend this to make a certain angle. Of course, am I going to make it perfect? No. I just choose to because I know how to make a science and what it does to your hand. The first is you heat it up and apply something that is metal, never plastic, because you'll burn it. You'll melt the plastic. So, uh, but what I was talking about earlier was that there is a blank time, time where there was no time. There was never a second of the day, a minute, hour, day, a year, a decade, so on. The universe just exploded. And that's what we call the Big Bang. With that, we don't have an understanding to a complete. We are still learning every day about the Big Bang, about the time before. Of course, no one knows about the time before because we have yet had anything that could predict to some to a form of accuracy that can help us or lead us to the truth of why this universe exploded. And that's where scientists who have a faith, and it's much hard on them, as most people don't think. It is so hard for someone who has been a Christian all their life and then went to school to study science to progress the thought of the universe and then realize that they're all wrong. There is no such thing as a God at that point. In which that's where I leave myself. I still believe that there's a God, but was only a being that came with the explosion, which still at this point would mean that God was created. And at that point, I think God was created. God was created by humankind. It's a faith. It's a belief. It's a belief system. It'll always be a belief system. It's not set in. It's yeah, set in stone is a hard word to say. It's not set in the writing of The universe. The universe does not say that God was the reason why the universe was made and why all these planets are made, and that we only give them fake names, that they have real names or blah blah blah. We gave them names because we needed a way to identify them and understand that each planet is different from one another, because it is true, they are different. Look, weird. Right, weird. But as I was saying was, we don't understand just yet of what happened. We can only theorize, which is what theoretical science is for. Is we are theoretically trying to figure out something that can't be proven just by looking in the ground or looking up in space. We're trying to figure out thousands and thousands of years of stardust being alive or being presence in the universe. We're still trying to understand where is the galaxy number one trying to be at? Where is that at? In which, in all reality, the answer is dead. Are you good? You can sleep inside. I'm out here out of my pure choice. I chose to be out here. Both of y'all. What the fuck are y'all doing? That's a weird. But well, what I'm meaning is, uh, what I'm meaning is, we are studying all the way back through just years, or sorry, trillions of years, if not sextillions, if anything. If it's not trillions, it's going to be three times as big. Or sorry, not three times as big. It's huge. Just a fucking huge gap. It'll be sextillions, far back in the sextillions, if not more. I have no clue because I can only theorize myself of what I can observe through looking in the sky and thinking, where is galaxy number one? Or possibly, what is the oldest galaxy? In which I don't even know. I don't have a telescope and I can't look up in the sky and just be like, it is right there. And I see that smaller than a freaking millionth of a nanometer. I don't even know. I don't even know. The smallest. Being so small that, and to the human eye, can't even be registered as anything there. Like, I can't just look in the sky and do that. I have to look through a telescope, and I all I do is just I look up things online. I get bored. I just start thinking about science at random points when I get bored. But hell with cooking. It is applied science. It is applied science in a form of a way. One, because you are implying heat, which yield a new result, which is called cook. Um, with that, the hair get away. in which at that point you are adding heat to moisture that is now heating up to steam or to evaporation point, which is steaming. Uh, Once we get to there, we now then we'll get to steaming, which is what cooks the inside. Of course, it takes for a long time for something to reach 212 degrees, where water starts to steam and cook. So what is happening is that it's boiling and creating the small steam that happens, which is what happens whenever you have hot air trapped in a bubble. It creates a steam. It reaches the 212 degrees, which is great, and you don't see it on a thermometer because it's just too quick. It dissipates too fast. Um, and all of it happens so small. It's too small to register, and it's what cooks the inside. At that point, you have to also think that with implying heat, you're also creating a way to add a mixture, which is now that your seasonings, or if you use a broth, you are creating a mixture at that point because now you're having heat, which is now cooking with it, which combines the atoms, which is what anything is made of. It's an atom. It makes that atom now altered in a form of way that still connects and holds and won't break loose, doesn't create anything different or an explosion because you can't create atoms. You only make new atoms by altering the atom by adding atoms, which is which you can either do by exothermic and endothermic reactions, which is adding heat or subtracting heat. Whenever you have an endothermic reaction, it takes the outside temperature and submerges it inside, which increases the heat. We never applied it. With exothermic, you have to apply the heat, which creates it to be an exothermic. It has to apply excess heat instead of using the internal heat that it creates itself upon mixing. Um, if you think about it, that is a gas. A gas is typically always going to be an exothermic because it applies to use a form of ignition, which is applying a heat. Uh, like a match. If you take a matchstick, uh, just one match, and you look at the end with the red or green or whatever color it is, I know they make different colors. It's mixed with a chemical that needs to be heated up. So either by taking this or a lighter or using the box and scrape it on that red red phosphorus to create that friction to make that heat, that's an exothermic. It has to be applied heat, which is an exothermic. An endothermic will never have to involve creating a heat, or not creating heat, will never have to be applying any, needs to be applied any heat because it already creates that heat and makes it an endothermic reaction. So, which typically does get hot and really hot very fast. Uh, there's ways to control it and make sure that it doesn't like get too hot. I can't even see it. That thing is so small. I can't read. Yeah. Uh, I got about 30 minutes ish until I gotta go. So, but what I'm gonna continue finishing up what I'm saying is if you let me think. What I was gonna say, what I was meaning to apply it for is to be for is there a way that I can try to adjust my mic? Hmm. But what I'm saying is I was meaning to apply it to theoretical science with theoretical, obviously, the creation of the universe. That always I fantasize understanding it to the point where we can understand the point of blank before you see, before one you see. And I want to be able to be a part in creating the understanding and have the ability to be a part of something that's so great and life altering to be able to enjoy the understanding of there was nothing like from what we know right now, there was nothing before you see. And so I want to provide information and probably hope that I can break theories and form new ones by giving um by um by discovering that's what I'm trying to think of is discovering life before. Was there was there a reality before reality as we know it? And that's what I want to see if I can break. Because if that is life altering, that is mind breaking, it breaks the fabric of our life and existence. And we are only playing in a just playing in a game at this point. And till we find out, it's a theory is what's before our universe. It's what's before our reality. I'm gonna go in. My phone's almost dead, actually. I think what I'm gonna do is actually get off. I'm gonna go enjoy time with my girlfriend. Yeah. I'm gonna go enjoy time with my girlfriend, and yeah, I'm gonna go have fun. I will see y'all later. Enjoy.